of want to wait until the action actually fully begins.
Let me
Both
welcome my
fights are kind of
video.
back and forth looking for angles, but once that connection hits
Welcome
and
back
once they
everybody
start
to
fully
another
pushing in, could be the
another
perfect moment
video
to
and
kind of strike as a third party. You don't know
we
way
are
too long though.
reacting
You
to
might
the
run out of time.
FPS debut group Major 3.
Everybody definitely feeling a little bit of pressure here now. It is still the early storm tick damage, so it's nothing to be too panicked over, but the way that Trix is looking around, it's so obvious. They do not feel comfortable, as if this isn't being pretty much watched. It's almost like when you can tell that somebody's looking at you, but like you don't know who just yet. Finally, Karma gonna open up that wall and immediately be reminded why he needs to just throw back in with the rest of his team. A lot of shield resources being used from both sides currently, and it's the light heals too that both of these teams seemingly in need of. Noms, Mystic, slowly, and they are slowly but surely continuing to get this wraparound, but neither side really willing to budge. This has been such a huge stalemate, though, and so much material used from both sides. It's kind of just left both of these teams worse for wear.
Yeah, I mean, they got their damage, I guess, but at the same time, was it worth what it costed? I mean, as long as both trios are kind of up and running, depending on how the zones pull, they should be able to make it back.
Ping the vote has died. His reboot card
Good pickups, though, from Nebs. Getting a chance to review a little bit of the kill switch revolver accuracy.
Knocked out the sky with the kill switch.
Nice chase down there, thanks to the dashes off of the dash sprite, but Nebs and Kiro, they were on a rescue mission. Bring Pink back into this one. 3 revives pulled off in a singular game. That's a pretty clean record. And now that they've got their IDL Pink back, though, that's bound to extend their opportunities here in game 2.
Yeah, I'm wondering what that's coming from being uncontested.
Let me get that
when you're at a drop spot, like they are at the top corner of the map. And the zone does pull kind of almost southwest. It can be a very difficult rotate, causing you to go down a bit. I drop Cammy and Hari doing what they can to play it a bit safe while they look for their tags. It's a plus of Shining Spans, the amount of elevation you can actually get in vision, but when there's not a lot of trios rotating through, it kind of limits your options, and
this trio's quad
just spending a good amount of time in zone here.
23. 0 kills.
I drop maybe even surprised that he hasn't actually
Game 2.
spotted anybody from that position. Especially because of what you just said, Takata. We saw so many of the zones even throughout yesterday's action head south, but first off, gotta see what happens with Veno, Vico, and Flixie. They are still all together, but similar to fashion, the first lobby, it looks like they are just hunting down their Surge, constantly getting tangled up in some of these early engagements, and it's not like they're not trying to pick the fight, and for good measures. Veno, that opening elimination now onto Shixie. 2 intact already for this trio, and they still want to see if they can figure out where the last one's at. But if they manage to stay together, Takata, it definitely makes some magic happen.
Yeah, Shixie can't catch a break. I feel like he's been hiding more than looting in these past 2 matches from those off-spawn fights. And rumbles your whole game from the start. Trix, Floki, Box, Edge Zone, you can see kind of the mini-map. Those 4 different players just eyeballing them as they're going to be forced to rotate up now. Might be even safer just right along the side of the zone instead of going straight in.
Wow. Still haven't found a solid conclusion yet to the action at Pump Power. New teams just keep rolling in, and now it's Akira, Kurama, and Werex up against the likes of Veno, Vico, and Flixie. Both of these teams on kind of opposite ends now.
POI,
but Kurama just tunneling overhead, looking down.
are.
Maybe thinks that he knows
Good,
exactly
but I will
where
replace it
a couple of
with a
members from
med
Venom's
kit.
team are at, but
In my
there's no
opinion,
reason to immediately challenge this
if you can
trio.
kill
If they can
somebody,
apply
you
some
can
pressure,
just,
sure,
and they
they'll
have a
go for
big,
it,
or
but
you open the
they
chest and
also
it's big,
want to make sure they
you
keep
can just
looking
use
back
that because they only
just
give
in
you
case
one.
any teams have the intentions of wrapping around for Deadside. They don't want to find themselves getting
And then
flanked.
drop the med kit.
Yeah, looking at
So you
Kira's
drink
loadout
one
too, yeah.
big, then get your
An
pick your
incredible
med
amount of
kits back
minis.
up.
Looks like they just want to play it safe to maintain their
And
spot on the
zero.
leaderboard, not risk kind of fighting for Surge. Pink, on the other hand, the
So
quick
that's
elim.
why my
Oh,
loadout
whoa.
is this
What happened
rifle,
here? Look at the
the
amount of
second
eliminations
pump,
this trio
the main
already
med
has.
kit, and Mr. Gauntlet.
Third zone. They're getting closer and closer to double digits, and it looks like Mongrel is going to be on the receiving end as Kiro doing what he can to escape. Good news is 6 med kits. Bad news, you even have enough time to pop one. Barely gets it off, and now the hunt begins.
Mongrel's got absolutely nowhere
Oh,
left
hey,
to run.
build him up,
This
build
is
him up, build him up, shoot up.
almost like delaying the
Build him up, build him
inevitable.
up, build him up.
He could play spoiler potentially for Kiro. If Kiro's not careful,
Yeah, what's your name?
needs a bigger
Mongrel's one tap.
tag than what
He
he
shoots
could be
him
anticipating, but he knows Mongrel just doesn't have any HP.
Dude, make it
Kiro-
up. Oh, you're getting double.
Yeah, I like
He
the
double
fact that they're
teamed
still
on.
playing
One
this
from behind, one from
respectfully.
above.
Nebs and Kiro are not looking to
Oh,
take any unnecessary
dang.
risk. And even with Kiro understanding what kind of steep HP advantage he has,
you
even
guys
knowing that it's Mongrel all by himself, he still gives his opponent that respect
One.
of, hey, I don't want to get too
Oh,
reckless
King
and
Ghost
then get knocked,
and
and then
Nebs
it feels
raised
silly because we're having to
1,500
waste heals that we
in
could have just saved.
Kuro.
All right, 8 eliminations
That's the
now
first order, baby.
for the trio. Let's hope that they can chill a little bit, okay? Get your mats up,
And you kill him.
get your positioning right.
Dang.
Moppy with a quick knock.
I thought that was less than that.
Looks like they were able to actually fully finish this fight out as Sato. Gonna be a little difficult. Similar situation to what Mongrel is in. Trying to
Ooh.
escape as a solo.
Nice flick. Flick this mouse
Hey.
so hard.
Take a look at Stormy right though, up on the mountain range. And he's got Ari, Hydra, and Cammy potentially in his sights.
I'm done alright.
So many of our teams though, from these elevated spots, just not wasting any time, Takata. They're looking for the surge tags as often as possible, just remaining proactive with keeping above that threshold.
What do we even think of
Yo.
these important?
Dexy and Vixovsky. Looks like they might be hunting or kind of trailing behind Mr. Savage. Trying to figure out based on the minimap where his trio actually is at the moment.
Mr.
But
Savage?
Pico Veno Flixie living up to what they always do in constant fights, constant engagements. The last match kind of put their whole game into shambles after one of them ended up getting eliminated. So hopefully this time around they can stay up as a trio.
This is where they flourish though, is in these close-up and personal engagements, but Veno trying to maybe reconsider whether or not he wants to swerve off so aggressively for the rest of his team. Other trios in the area definitely taking note, sending some shots in, and Veno, Flixie, playing the side-by-side. They trust that Vico can hold his own if
Big
necessary,
Bob
but
Jr.
they don't want to. They
Why?
why chance it?
No,
Let's just play
Big Bob
together.
Jr.'s the only one
Let's just heal
without
back
the
up.
Sparks book skin.
They knew that they were having to also absorb a little bit of damage from that third party. And for Akira and Kurama, Warwick, this might be the little moment of relief that they were kind of hoping
Ooh.
for, because Veno, Vika, Flixie, they're gone.
DMR from the right
Yeah, the
side
good news
up.
is too is they're able to get damage here. The zone is pulling by Supernova on the north side of the map, so they will have the uncongested side as all the trios will be rotating from the south. So as long as they're able to get enough damage onto these trios, they shouldn't have to put too much risk into their match. Mustache Swizzy though, left as a duo now on the opposite end of the map, full south. They're gonna have to difficult rotate this time around.
I'm gonna finish that.
That's definitely a tough break. Losing Queasy and Box,
Getting dusty already.
delaying it just long enough. But for Mustache and Swizzy, certainly a duo that could play for the reboot, even though it's late. They might still be able to pull it off. Mappy and Cheatin
Side of my desk.
also facing a casualty there with Traxer, but despite their teammate having been eliminated. Mappy going strong with those 3 eliminations of his own. Still going to keep their search threshold intact, that's for sure. Give them much more leeway, even if they choose to just commit to playing this game as a duo.
I've seen a lot of duos so far, as you'd expect when the level is this high for Group 3. Vitovsky now, from trailing to being 862 above. The amount of materials they have, honestly, they're in quite a good position. But it seems like they're hungry for more. Right into the box with the pre-edits, and it worked out perfectly as they're able to secure a quick knock now. With just one more opponent trying to do what he can to escape in the mist form. Just one quick shot could be enough to finish this one.
Quota doing everything they can to try and see if they can slither away, but that's not going to be the case. Vexy, Devule, and Pixovsky will manage to close in, but Scary Sean just tucked away, hidden. The third party also starting to roll up onto their position. Trouble for the Frenchies now. Podesai, X-Squeeze. They don't have Artsville next to them. They're tackling Stormy Radion, Zarb. But even with the numbers against them, Takada, it's not going to be easy to leave this position unless they probably do just have to fight their way through this. They can still even the score here. They've got a good amount of healing resources. Just a couple of different angles, and they might be able, if Stormy Radion or Zarb get a little bit too greedy with how they choose to push this duo, Podesai and X-Squeeze could definitely turn this around.
Yeah, the good news is, depending on how long they take to rotate, it shouldn't be too tough. They'll have a lot of materials to kind of recycle from the trios that have already rotated along that edge zone, but they will be looking back, as this trio is going to be aware of, but seems like right now it is just going to be a waiting game.
One thing I'm definitely noticing is that Stormy Red and Zarb, they didn't have any kind of mobility in their loadouts. So no misforms means that they're going to have to put a pause in that fight with X-Squeeze and Podesai. X-Squeeze and Podesai, since they are the duo, they are just going to trail towards that backside of zone, but a couple shots, not going to be able to connect there onto Radion. They'll take the scenic route now overhead. Podesai still putting a little bit of pressure onto their back tarp, and Zarb, Radion, a little bit confused now what's happening next, but Podesai bites off more than he can chew. He's gonna get knocked. He has to wait now to see if X-Squeeze can make something happen here, but he's shut down. One of our French teams eliminated, but that has alerted the rest of the lobby to exactly where Radion, Stormy Red, and Zarb are rotating through, and since they are the last ones, Veno and Flixie, they don't want to let them through.
Although Podesai got hit with the 1-2, still respect the confidence, committing. They knew they had to go for something there. Meanwhile, Vico and Flixie decided to kind of disengage from that initial fight that we saw previously. Do not want to risk going down once again, and it has caused them to be below, but now they're able to kind of safely secure these tags. And not only that, once again, they end up pulling that 7th zone here. I think what I'd want to do is elevate myself a little more, and then they're going to have all those angles for the trios rotating on in that they can quickly capitalize on.
Despite everything, though, they are under surge. This has been one of our most aggressive teams throughout this secondary match, Takada. We've seen them constantly trying to force these box fight engagements, but nobody wants to play their game. And so now they're stuck 120 below surge, burning through some of their chug jug. Might catch a break here on Stormy Red's team, but Flixie has been knocked. Veno and Vico, they're going to try to play for the double rebound.
I'm gonna bring the team down.
To press them.
I have some lunch.